Yes, people, welcome back to the MVP channel. Thanks for everyone off the intro video that kind of supported it, like, commented, and subscribed, and helped share it, man. It means a lot. So we're going to get into the second one. This is a match preview to the fixtures in the Premier League this week and the weekend. So we're going to look at the title running, the relegation battle, and everything in between. So yeah, let's get into it. So I've got some stuff on my computer. So if I'm looking at the screen, that's why. So the first one we got is Wolves versus Arsenal tomorrow. I'm actually going to that game. Me and a couple of my friends are going. I'm hoping it goes ahead because, sorry, I was checking the weather forecast and it's saying there's forecasted snow tomorrow from about 3:30 onwards. I don't know how heavy or light it's going to be, but I'm hoping that doesn't spoil the game. But yeah, I'm going to that game. I'm really looking forward to. Before I get started, I just want to explain something. Obviously, I'm from Wolverhampton, born and raised. I support Arsenal. I know a lot of people might say I'm a glory hunter. I don't really know what kind of glory I've been chasing because we ain't won fuck all for a long time. But yeah, it is what it is. But I just wanted to kind of touch on Wolves for a minute as a football club. And look, I've got friends that are massive Wolves fans. My dad's been a Wolves. I think he's had a season ticket since he was 14. He'll be 60 this year. He's been going literally his whole life. That's why I go to the games. I go with him. So I went to Torino when Wolves played Torino in Italy. We went there. Went to Spain when Wolves played Espanyol. I've been all over the country with him to watch Wolves play. Sometimes forced, sometimes by choice. But yeah, that's what it is. So I'm actually going on his season ticket tomorrow. So I'll be sitting in the Wolves end. I'm going on his season ticket, and his two friends can't make it, so I'm taking two of my mates. But I just wanted to say, I think what that board has done to Wolves and what they're doing with pulling out investments, not reinvesting, money into the squad, letting it decay into the point where it is. The manager changes, not the right appointments. I think now they're definitely kind of getting ready for life in the Championship. You can tell because selling Strand Larson. Look, I understand for Wolves, the relegation battle is pretty much wrapped up and done. They're going to go down. But it's just a shame because it wasn't long ago that Wolves were one of those. At one point, they were Man City's bogey team. They were beating Man City regularly. They've been to Arsenal and got wins. They've been to Liverpool and got wins. United and got wins. Spurs and got wins. And on any given day, at one point they could beat anyone in the Premier League, and they were doing well, finished in European places, had the success of that. And when Wolves were working with George Mendes, they had some fantastic players. Like if you think about it, rest in peace, Jota. They had Jota. They had Raul Jimenez in his pomp. I think when Raul Jimenez was at Wolves in his pomp, before that injury he got, ironically, at Arsenal, I think he's one of the top 5 strikers in the league. I think he would have gone into most Premier League teams, if not walked into the team. He definitely would have been competing for a spot. So, to go from that, Neves, Adama Traore, there's so many, Matinho in the midfield. So many good players have had it. It's just kind of they're just sold and sold and sold and not reinvested. And now they're at a point where look, they're gonna go down. Exciting in a way. I mean, maybe they'll get to have the the derby back with West Brom and things like that, and Birmingham, but depending on who gets promoted and things like that. But yeah, it's just a shame because you see where Villa are now, and they've built it through stability, backing Unai Emery, supporting him with player buys, standing firm on not selling players. I know that Arsenal were very interested in Watkins last year, January, and they kind of stood firm on a price, and when they couldn't get it, they just said no, and they walked away from it. So, and now look at them, they're quote unquote in a title race, or have been in a title race. I know they just went out of the sorry, I got a sore throat, so I got a cup of tea with some honey and lemon in it. I know they've just gone out of the FA Cup to Newcastle, which I'll get onto Newcastle in a minute. But look at what they're achieving and look at what they're doing. And I think Wolves could have been there or thereabouts in that position. I'm not saying Wolves have been competing for the title. I'm not saying they would have consistently been a top 4, top 5, top 6 team, but I think they would have been a solid Premier League team going forward for years to come. Look at Brentford this season. Do you know what I mean? They've invested well. They got Igo up top. He's doing fantastic. I think he's the second highest goal scorer behind Haaland. It just takes some stability and some investment and knowing a strategy and a plan. Like, they lost Frank in the summer to Tottenham, which didn't work out too well. But yeah, they lost him, and it didn't stop them because the board and the structure there has a clear vision of where they want to be. Then a manager more easily slots into that. But when you haven't got a vision and a plan of where you want to be, this is where you're going to end up bottom of the league, in scrambling to not beat Derby's record, well, to not do as bad as Derby did. It's just a horrible place for them to be in. But yeah, that's just a little rant, man. I agree with the Wolves fans. The board needs to get out. They need to just go, because it's just, I know it's easier said than done, and it's their business. So in theory, they can kind of do what they want. But I always feel like football business is a different business because it's so fan orientated, and especially for a small city like Wolves, like these fans are like die-hard fans, and they don't deserve to go through this. So yeah, man, I support them in trying to get the board out and a new direction for the club. It's definitely needed. But yeah, anyway, after the rant, going into that game, I mean, Wolves' form has been pitiful. Their last few games, they lost away to Man City 2-0. I mean, it's expected. Anyone can go there and lose. Lost away to Bournemouth. Lost at home to Chelsea 3-1. They drew with Nottingham Forest away, which is look, they had the draw against Newcastle at home, and they had the draw away to Nottingham Forest, which are really, really good results. But because of the position they're in, anything now is just consolation or just like a day out for the fans. It don't really mean nothing. So yeah, it's just that they're in a bad way. They're in a bad way. Going on to Arsenal, I mean, look, a good win in the FA Cup against Wigan. I think we saw something a bit different from Arteta. If you've seen in the first half, he played Saka as a number 10. He played Eze a bit deeper, and Eze was pinging them Pirlo-esque balls through. You know what I mean? He got the one through from Martinelli. He got the one through from Madueke as well. So I think Arteta has realised that, look, the defence is solid and it works. The attack's not working. Now, we shouldn't be, even though it's a fantastic weapon to have, we shouldn't be relying on set pieces to beat teams. It should be I think it should be an added bonus. You know what I mean? You've got the ability to beat a team on a counter, beat a low block, got some creativity to get through tight defences. And then on top of that, it's that added extra that you're very good at set pieces. At the minute, it feels like we need a set piece to break the deadlock and then go on from there, because the team has to come out to us a bit. So I think, look, I think the game against Wigan was the right game to trial it, because no disrespect to Wigan, but I feel like 9 times out of 10, whatever team we put out on that day would have beat them. And I liked it. I still feel like the changes up front, the constant change up front, is kind of making it harder for our midfield, because I don't know what striker they're playing with. Are they playing with the Yokwes that kind of wants to sit up top and play with his back to goal sometimes? Or they're playing with a Jesus that likes to drop in and join in the build-up play? So, keep chopping and change that does make it more difficult for him. But I think if we can get Eze into that side, I know he's had a few very bad performances, poor performances, not bad. But I think he showed in the Wigan game, and I know it's just Wigan, but I think he showed kind of what his capabilities are and what he can do. So I think if we can build a system where he's in that team, playing that kind of role, maybe having to move Saka more centrally and putting him in a 10 role, I think it gives the team a bit of balance. Because I'll be honest with you, even though he's our captain, the older guys, it's just not working. I honestly can't see him being here after the summer. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Wolves, Arsenal, yeah, so good results. 4-0 away at Leeds, 1-0 at home to Chelsea. Obviously, that's Carabao Cup, but 3-0 against Sunderland, 1-1 against Brentford. Now, that's the game that really, really pissed me off, because you've just watched Man City go and do what they did, yeah? They've gone to Liverpool. I know Liverpool aren't the Liverpool of last season, but they're still Liverpool, and it's still Anfield, and it's still a fortress in a way, and it's still the atmosphere and the occasion, and that's a big game. And you know what it's like when it comes to, I know it's not a derby in terms of proximity, but it's a derby in terms of rivalry. It's been them 1 and 2 for the title for a few years now. So I think form a little bit goes out the window, and to go to Anfield, to go 1-0 behind, and then to show what they showed, to not only put it back, but to go ahead. Really, it should have been 3-1, but that awful, God knows what was going on with that decision. But yeah, they showed some real fight, grit and determination. I kind of understand why they call them the Big Blue Shark now, because they smelt blood and they knew, and their players, they're seasoned players, like their Haalands, like their Bernardo Silvas. In that game, they really stepped up and grabbed everyone, and it was almost a thing of like, look, there's a title race on here. You want to just hand it to them, or do you want to make it difficult for them? And they made it difficult for us. And what do? We went away against Brentford, and it's like we didn't even show up. Brentford were very good on the day. I understand that, but if you want to be champions, you have to be better and you have to find a way. And in them kind of games, when you go 1-0, you can't then let that lead slip. Not this close to the end of the season. So look, only time will tell whether at the end of the season that's a point gained or 2 points dropped. But I just feel like take the result away, the performance did not fill me with any confidence. It wasn't a championship winning side performance in my eyes. So yeah, I mean, my prediction for this game, I think that we're going to go to Wolves and beat them. I'm hoping we beat them comfortably with a very, very solid performance to send out a bit of a message just that we are serious about this title race. So I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal for that game. So we'll review it all and let me just write this down actually. So I can go back and review it so that we'll see where my predictions land. And if any of them are all right, let me just make a new folder for this. Okay, cool. Let's call it predictions, and we're going to go Wolves 0 and Arsenal 3. Yep. Okay, cool. Oh, we can do split view. Sorry, I'm still figuring all this kind of stuff out, and I didn't realize that you can do a split view on here, so you can bring things in and bring them out. Oh, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not very good at technology, man, as you can probably tell. So just bear with me with things. But yeah, okay, that's better. Okay, cool. So going into the weekend's fixtures, I think this is really going to be like I think this weekend is pivotal in the title race and the relegation battle, and I'll tell you why. You look at the fixtures this weekend. So we play against Wolves tomorrow. Hopefully we get the 3 points, and that then puts us 7 points back above City. City are at home to Newcastle on Saturday night. Now, I know Newcastle have been a bit up and down in their form and kind of what's going on with them, but they're that good win against Villa, a very strong win against Villa in the cup. Tonali looks like he's back to some great form. I think personally, Tonali walks into any top Premier League side. That's how good he is, and that's how highly I rate him. So I don't think it'll be easy for City. I do think they'll come through it and win, but I kind of just hope it's going to be a draw. I don't think it will be, but I think I'm going to go for a draw. I think I'm going to go for 1-1, and Tonali to be the man of the match and kind of keep running that game. Look, I'm saying that more with my Arsenal hat on than anything. But Newcastle isn't an easy result. And I think with the pressure, if we can go back to going... So after tomorrow's game, I think all Arsenal's games, or the next 5 Arsenal games, come after City have played. So I think we need to put that pressure on tomorrow, beating them, going 7 points clear, and hoping the pressure can get to them for a bit and they can drop some points in this game. So we'll see what happens. But after that, they're literally playing before us each game week. So we could be going into the next game week and we could be 1 point behind. They could be 1 point behind us. And that's pressure. That is different pressure. And I can't take bottom in this league, man. I don't want to hear it from everyone. I've been hearing it for the last 3-4 seasons, so I just don't want to hear it. But yeah, I'm hoping they can go away and do that. I'm hoping they can go away and I'm hoping that Newcastle can come there and put up a fighting performance. I know Gimrez is out, and that's a big miss because him and Tonali in the midfield together, that's midfield solid when they're playing together. But we'll see. I think Newcastle, that win against Villa in the Cup is a massive, massive win. Emre's a cup manager, so to get one over on him away as well, I just think they might be able to do something. So I'm hoping so. I know Villa went down to 10 men and things like that, but I'm gonna go for Man City versus Newcastle 1-1. I'll post these results as well, these predictions, on the Instagram, and then you just tell me whether you agree with them or you don't agree with them, or what you think in the comments. Yeah. So yeah, then we've got some other games on the weekend. We've got West Ham Bournemouth, a bit of a kind of a neither here nor there game, I think, in terms of what's going on in the title race. So no, I don't want to give no feedback. I don't know. Sorry, some adverts are popping up. So yeah, Bournemouth, they sit ninth, 37 points. They're not in no danger of going down. I don't believe they'll break into a European spot. I mean, yeah, they're 4 or 5 points behind the Europeans, but I don't think they'll kind of move too much from where they are. For West Ham, it's a massive game. If West Ham can get a result here, if West Ham can get the win, they go from 24 points to 27 points. That puts them 2 points behind Tottenham and level on points with Nottingham Forest, depending on what them two do on the weekend. We'll get on to Tottenham in a minute because that's a big one. So I really think one more. I think Leeds have got enough to stay out of it. I think they have, but I think Tottenham, Forest, and West Ham, it's them three battling it out now. Relegation battle for that last relegation spot of who's going to go down, and I just think that I don't know, man. It's probably my Arsenal hat, but I think Spurs are going to go down. I think this new gaffer they got in, he's been sat left, right, and centre by other clubs. He got sacked from Juve because I think he ran an 8-game winless run. 8 games winless. I mean, if he does that here, they're down. I really think that even if Spurs don't go down, look, they won the Europa League last season. You know, they've turned that into a Mickey Mouse competition because no Champions Leagues drop into it. So it's easier to win. It's not a major European trophy, even though they like to tell us it is. It's really not. I just think that, Levy's gone. They've sacked the manager. They must have stadium debts from that massive stadium that they've built. I think they've banked on being in Champions League or at least European spots. They're not going to do it this year. They're not going to. I bet my house they're not going to win the Champions League. I think it's really going to start turning. I think that Tottenham could be another lead story. I really think they could get relegated and they could kind of lose it all. I think it is that knife edge from at the minute. And I know people are going to come at me and say, "Nah, you don't know what you're on about," or this and that, but it happens. We saw it happen to Leeds. Do you know what I mean? When I was a kid and I watched Leeds, they had Harry Kewell, Mark Viduka, Robbie Keane. They had so many great players. Lee Bowyer. They had so many fantastic players. Alan Smith, Rio Ferdinand. Do you know what I mean? Their team was ridiculous. I always used to be Leeds on Championship Manager. Always used to be Leeds, and it happened to them. So, yeah, man. I think it's a difficult one, but I think that pressure is going to start getting to Spurs, and I think that if they can go away and get the if where am I? What am I doing? I think that if West Ham can go and get that win against Bournemouth, I think it really, really, really kind of puts Spurs in a bit of a predicament where it's they're going to have to start figuring out basically what's going on with them, and maybe getting ready for life in the Championship. Maybe that's where they're heading. I know they won't like to admit it, but I think that's where it could be going. I definitely think that's where it could be going from because I just don't see a way out from it at the minute. They're playing awful football. They've got so many. I mean, the injuries that they are unlucky with. I have to admit, they've got so many injuries that it's just it doesn't seem there's no cohesion in the team. We don't know what this new gaffer is going to come in and do, if anything. Let's be honest. We don't know what he's going to come in and do, and I just feel like they could just start slipping and slipping and slipping. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, going on to Saturday. So that was that Saturday's game. We've got Brentford versus Brighton. I expect Brentford to win that. They're on really good run of form and they're playing very well. Chelsea versus Burnley. I expect Chelsea to win. I'm not even going to match predict them. I expect Chelsea to win and beat Burnley. I think Burnley are down. Villa versus Leeds is an interesting one. Now this is one we will match predict. Villa versus Leeds. I feel like Villa have done fantastic this season, way more than I think even their fans expected. But I feel like they've peaked. I feel like they've got to a stage where they've kind of hit their ceiling for this season, and they're still going to do fantastically, and they're still going to finish in a fantastic position, more than likely a Champions League position. But I feel like they've peaked, so I think Leeds can go there and get something, and I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 2-2. Let's predict that one. I'm going to go Leeds. I'm going to go Villa versus Leeds, and I'm going to go 2-2. Oh man, where are them notes gone? Yeah, I honestly don't know what I'm doing with this. if you, oh, I got it. Okay, cool. I need to get better with this kind of technical stuff, man. I really don't know how to do it. So we're gonna go Villa versus Leeds, and I'm gonna go 2-2. Let's see. Let's see. But that honestly, I think that Villa have peaked, and I think they know they're not gonna. They're out of the title race pretty much, and I think they know that they can probably sustain enough results to stay in the top four. So yeah, I think they're really really going to struggle with that. I think they're going to start dropping a lot of points. Then we go to Sunday. Wolves away at Palace. Look, it's looking bad. I think they'll lose to Arsenal midweek. I think they're going to lose to Palace. I think Strand Larsen's going to score a couple, and it's not going to be a pretty game for them. But yeah, I can't see Wolves getting through that. I think the writing's already on the wall. They're relegated. I don't think the effort's there no more. What are you fighting for? You're not going to pull out that relegation battle. So I think it's very hard from now. I think they just need to refocus and make the plan for the Championship to bounce back as quickly as possible, reinvest in the team and have a real structure and plan going forward. Right, Forest versus Liverpool. Nottingham Forest at home versus Liverpool. 2:00 on Sunday. I'm going for a Nottingham Forest win. And the reason I'll tell you why is I think Forest can now smell blood a bit with Tottenham. And they're probably thinking, okay, we're on 27 points. So Forest on 27 points. If they win that game, it's at 2:00 on Sunday. If they win that game, they'll be on 30 points. Spurs are on 29. If we beat Spurs on Sunday, that puts them above Spurs. That puts Spurs directly in line with Forest, with West Ham in that fight for that 18th spot. Who's going to finish in that last relegation spot? So I think that I'm going to go for Nottingham Forest to beat Liverpool, and I'm going to go 2-1 Forest. And that really, really, really puts Spurs dead in that relegation battle. Right, and then there's then on Sunday we got Sunderland versus Fulham, another one. I haven't as much riding on the game. I think Sunderland are one of the teams of the season, man. What they've done in the Premier League this season, being promoted, having a lot of players. They lost to the African Cup of Nations as well. Xhaka's been out for a while with injury, and they're doing their thing, man. So I'm not going to predict that game. Sunderland at home against Fulham. I think Fulham are quite poor, to be honest. I think Sunderland will beat them. Yeah, there's not much to say on that game. Right, the big one. 4:30 on a Sunday. Tottenham versus Arsenal. If Arsenal's serious about this title, if Arsenal really, really, really believe they can win this title, and the disarray that Spurs are in, new manager, I don't expect him to have a manager bounce. So I really think he's going to go in there and not have a clue what to do with these lot. They've got so many injuries, it's ridiculous. Romero's out because of that red card he got in his last game. I'm going there saying Arsenal to get the win and really stick it to these, like put a nail in there, put one, not the final nail, but one more nail in their coffin towards that relegation zone. Look, I think that we're in amongst it now. You know what I mean? This is our chance to kind of show people that we are serious. Go away to your local derby, go and get a good win, a good performance, and then let's go. And at this point of the season, it's not even so much about the gap at the minute. It's just chalking off games because we're so deep into the season now. I think it's just get through the Wolves game, get the win. That's one more game chalked off. We've still got a 4-point buffer. Get through the Tottenham game, get a win, chalk that one off. We've got through another game. It's 2 games out the way. 2 games less that we have to play, and we've still got the buffer. So that's what it's about now. It's just a scrap and a fight to the end. You know, when people kind of use that analogy that, they won the battle, but we'll win the war. Every game now is the war. There's no more battles. Battles were over. Post-Christmas, the battles are over. Those are the little battles where teams can still kind of come back and catch up and stay in the race and things like that. It's done. A title race is Arsenal and Man City, and every game from now to the end of the season is a war. Now it's up to Arsenal whether they're going to go in there and win each of those wars. You got the added bonus now of this. We can really, really, really hurt Spurs. We can really stick them in that relegation battle, like deep in it. Not like, oh, we're kind of teetering on it, or not like, oh, we're kind of in a relegation battle. Now, if we beat you on the weekend and Forest and West Ham get the results I think they're going to get, you are well and truly in a relegation battle. And for me, out of them 3 teams, I think they're the favourite to go down. So yeah, I'm going to go on that game obviously going to go for Arsenal win. I'm going to go Spurs. Look, Spurs always score against us, man. That's the only problem. We've got Spurs 1, and we've got Arsenal 3. We've got 3-1 Arsenal. And I expect to see maybe Saka playing a central number 10 role in that game, and I expect Eze to start. Just because that was his last great performance, was a win against Spurs at the Emirates, and he scored a hat-trick. So I really expect him to start and kind of him carry on where he's kind of picked up. I expect him to start against Wolves, and I expect him to maybe start against that in that game as well. And I feel like Eze's the one now. I feel like he's the one that's going to kind of needs to turn it on and drag us towards his title in a way, because I feel like he's got the creativity that we need to unlock that attack. So there's a lot of emphasis on Eze, and I love Eze, man. I think he's a fantastic player, especially what he did at Palace. So I just really want him to come through and start shining now. But yeah, people, so the predictions are on the few games that I've predicted. Tomorrow, Arsenal to beat Wolves 3-0. On the weekend, I predicted Man City and Newcastle 1-1. Villa versus Leeds, I've predicted 2-2. Forest versus Liverpool, I've predicted 2-1 to Forest. And Spurs versus Arsenal, I've predicted 3-1 to Arsenal, and for us to really, really cement their position in that relegation zone. Stay locked, people. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll do a post-match reaction to the Arsenal game, the Wolves-Arsenal game, because I'm going there. And then Sunday night, I'll drop a Premier League review on the weekend's games. So stay tuned for that, man. Thank you for listening.